Imagine a ship, perfectly sound, sailing on a calm sea. Its cargo, worth a fortune, is untouched. Its sails are set correctly to catch the wind. Inside, a meal sits half-eaten on the galley table. Personal belongings, money, and valuables are safe in the crew's chests. In the captain's cabin, his logbook lies open, the last entry recording nothing but a routine day. Everything is exactly where it should be, except the people. 10 souls, the captain, his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, and a crew of 7, vanished without a trace. This isn't the plot of a horror film. This is the true story of the brigantine Mary Celeste. And it's a historical paradox that has baffled investigators for over 150 years. It's a ghost ship in the truest sense of the word. And it leaves us with one chilling question. How does an entire crew simply get erased from existence? To begin to unravel this, we have to sail back to December 5th, 1872. The crew of another ship, the Dei Gratia, is crossing the Atlantic when they spot a vessel drifting erratically near the Azores. Its sails are tattered, and it's moving aimlessly, with no one at the helm. The captain of the Dei Gratia, David Morehouse, recognizes the ship. He knows its captain personally. It's the Mary Celeste. He hails them. No answer. Again. Only the sound of the wind and the creaking of timber. A boarding party rows over, and the moment their boots hit the deck, the mystery deepens. The ship is completely, utterly deserted. The silence is profound. But this wasn't a wreck. The Mary Celeste was perfectly seaworthy. There was some water in the hold, but nothing more than what would be normal for a wooden ship of that era. There was no sign of a catastrophic storm or a collision. The ship was fine, and that's when the truly paradoxical clues start to surface. First, the cargo. The ship was transporting over 1,700 barrels of denatured alcohol, a valuable shipment, and it was almost entirely intact. The crew's personal effects were also untouched. Money, pipes, clothes, letters from home, all there. This immediately throws cold water on the idea of piracy. Pirates take treasure. They don't leave it behind. Then there were the human touches, the things that make your skin crawl. In the captain's cabin, his wife's sewing machine had a piece of oilskin clothing still under the needle, as if she'd just gotten up for a moment. Her daughter's toys were scattered on the bunk. It looked like a normal family life, frozen in time. Everything pointed to a sudden but strangely orderly departure. And the biggest clue supporting this was what they found was missing. The ship's single lifeboat. It was gone. So let's piece this together. A perfectly sound ship. A valuable cargo left behind. 10 people, including a family, decide to abandon their sturdy vessel for a tiny, fragile lifeboat in the middle of the vast Atlantic Ocean. Why? It suggests they weren't forced off the ship by an outside threat, but that they fled from something on the ship, something so terrifying they chose to take their chances with the open ocean. So what could it have been? Over the years, the theories have run from the logical to the utterly fantastic. The first, most obvious ideas are violence. We already ruled out pirates. So what about a mutiny? Could the crew have murdered the captain and his family and then escaped in the lifeboat? It's possible, but the evidence just isn't there. Remember how orderly the ship was? A violent mutiny would have left signs, a struggle, damage, bloodstains. The Mary Celeste was disturbingly neat. It was as if the crew had simply dissolved. Of course, the more sensational theories involve sea monsters, ghost pirates, or even alien abduction. And while those make for great stories, they don't really help us understand what likely happened to those 10 people. For that, we have to look closer at the one thing that was slightly out of place: the cargo. The 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol. 9 of them were found empty. Now, these specific barrels were made of red oak, which is more porous than white oak. It's more likely to leak. This brings us to the most plausible scientific explanation we have, the vapor explosion theory. And this is where it gets fascinating. Denatured alcohol is highly volatile. As the ship sailed from the cold of New York into the warmer waters of the Azores, some of that alcohol would have evaporated inside the barrels, turning into a flammable vapor. If those 9 porous barrels leaked, that vapor would have slowly filled the unventilated cargo hold, creating immense pressure. All it would take is a single spark, maybe from 2 metal bands on the barrels rubbing together, or even just a rapid buildup of heat and pressure. The result wouldn't be a fiery, ship-destroying Hollywood explosion. Instead, it would be a frightening, non-destructive pressure wave blast. Imagine you're the captain, Benjamin Briggs. You hear a terrifying, rumbling boom from below deck. The main hatch covers, weighing hundreds of pounds, are blown off their mountings and fly into the air. A wave of hot, acrid alcohol vapor rushes out. You don't see flames, yet, but you believe your ship, essentially a floating container of explosive liquid, is about to become an inferno. You have your wife and your 2-year-old daughter on board. Your first and only instinct is to get them to safety. In this state of controlled panic, you order an evacuation. Not a permanent one, just a temporary one. You lower the lifeboat, you get everyone in. Maybe you even tie a long rope to the Mary Celeste to stay connected, planning to wait at a safe distance to see if the ship explodes. But it never does. The blast was a one-time event. The vapor dissipated. The ship, your safe haven, is fine. And you're in a tiny boat in the middle of the Atlantic. The ocean is a vast and unforgiving place. A sudden squall could have snapped the tow line. A rogue wave could have swamped your small boat. Once you were separated from the Mary Celeste, your chances of survival would have been almost zero. Lost to the sea, leaving behind a perfectly preserved ghost ship to haunt maritime history forever. This vapor explosion theory is elegant. It fits the facts. It explains why a competent crew would abandon a seaworthy ship, why they left their belongings, and why the lifeboat was the only thing missing. It solves the paradox, but it is still just a theory. The vapor explosion is the most logical explanation, but the mystery of the Mary Celeste remains officially unsolved. What do you believe happened to its crew? Was it a freak accident of chemistry, or is there a piece of the puzzle we're still missing? Share your theories in the comments below. We read every one of them. And if you enjoy journeys into history's greatest enigmas, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more explorations into the unknown.